Hey everybody, it's Remo and welcome to my real review of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Catalyst is developed by DICE and published by EA. Oh, Electronic Arts, you used to be something great back in the day. You used to be unique and take chances, and now all the fuck you do is FIFA and Madden games. And overcharge people for DLC content that should be part of the game anyways. Battlefront. But I digress. The Mirror's Edge Catalyst is somewhat of a prequel/reboot to the original Mirror's Edge that came out on the Xbox 360, which in my mind was a cult classic, and at the time got mixed reviews but was seen as a decent/good game overall. It was very unique for its time, fun to play, and had a good art style behind it that a lot of people dug. So in the first one, it had really fun free-running mechanics, but at the same time you would die a lot from what seeming to be would be cheap, unworthy, and circumstantial deaths that would make you feel like it wasn't your fault. If you didn't look in the right spot, or if you somehow didn't time the jump just perfectly, just the mechanics of it made it feel kind of cheap, and there would be a lot of cheap deaths. This one highly improves upon it. The free running and movement mechanics of this game are by far and beyond of what the first one did. This game adds a lot more to it, and every time you do die, it doesn't feel as something cheap and unworthy that the game just happened to fuck you. No, you kind of fucked yourself. And that's the feeling I get with this one. It's a lot better mechanic-wise and gameplay-wise than the original. On to the combat. The first game had a melee/shooting, since it was first-person, type fighting mechanics. The fighting was okay, but kind of subpar, and the shooting was just horrible. And the worst thing about the goddamn fighting mechanics in the first one was the quick time event to take away your enemy's weapon. Now, it would flash red, you hit Y. Guess what? No matter how many times with those machine gun noobs you hit Y on when the gun turned red, you get clocked in the face and shot to shit and die. And boy, did people fucking rage off that mechanic. Including myself. There's probably many controllers thrown in Smash doing parts of this game. No doubt. This game made great strides in the combat. This time, taking away weapons is not there whatsoever. There are enemies that shoot at you, but you have to take them out. You don't get to use the weapons. There's no shooting in this one at all. They put in new combat moves, new ways to incorporate it and combo them together, and even a shielding system. So if you're running really fast for a long time and chaining together moves, you can chain together takedowns for a whole length of opponents and take them all down without getting hurt. That incorporates a lot more finesse to the gameplay. But do not stand still. You stand still, you will die. Especially with more than 4 to 5 enemies, you will get your ass handed to you. Now on to story and characters, sad to say. The first game, the characters were very lively, unique, all onto their own. Everything was still in the same art style and clothing-wise. They all were very unique in their own type of individual characters and very colorful in nature to who they were. This one, all the characters seem to be dark, brooding assholes who are always being a smartass, and it's just no fun. Even Faith herself is. And it's just boring and starts to drag on and on. Ugh. Story-wise, the original was not a well-endowed story. It was a very simplistic story to get you going in the game and keep you going. Very fun, out there story. This time around, they seem to be taking a cue that they need a super involved, lengthy, and convoluted story, and it just doesn't work. They tried to retcon some things, work in some things from the original, and it just isn't working. The only thing I thought worked to a degree was in the beginning of the game. They showed what happened to Faith's family, and in the first one they talked about it, this and that, but you got to feel a little bit more for Faith seeing what she went through. But other than that, I found the story and the characters themselves to be just no good and lackluster compared to the first one. They really dropped the ball this time when they tried to introduce a more lengthy and more involved story that they seem to just drag on and on about. Let's go to the art design of the game. I really love the art of the original game. Some people would say the cutscenes look like the old Geico commercial. I thought it was really nice. I like the artistic side of the game and the monochromatic way they decided to go with it. It was very breathtaking and very fun when you're running around the city and everything you got to see and do. This one, in Mirror's Edge Catalyst, the scenery is gorgeous. The glass city is amazing to look at and run around. Even the characters' clothes themselves and the art direction they took, that is not bad. The issue I have is with them, they look rubberish and not real, and not in a, it's not supposed to look not real type of way. It just doesn't look good. And there's this weird thing. Faith looks amazing in the cutscenes, yet it seems like they didn't give a fuck about her when it came to designing her outside of the cutscenes surfaces. But there are mirror-like surfaces that you walk by that really fucking show you her character design, and her eyes are black holes of demon-like hell, and her hair is all one piece that swings from side to side all as one, and it just looks fucking weird as hell. As you can see right now, it's bad. It's god awful. Now, this game added in some upgrading mechanics, which I really dig. I like the upgrading in this game. You can upgrade your movement and the moves that you can use to get around the city, which I enjoy. The fighting aspect and what you can get and moves you can use to kick somebody's ass and knock assholes off the side of the building. Helm Scream. Of course, it's not, the Wilhelm Scream is not actually in the game, but they should really add that in there for a little bit of finesse and fun. And then you can upgrade your gear. That can stop machines and disrupt your enemies and kind of stun them, to the grappling hook and zipline grappling hook, which is really fun, and I love swinging from building to building. It took me back as a kid watching Indiana Jones, but to even more out there and awesome degree, and I had a lot of fucking fun with it. Now this game, the whole idea behind it is you're a runner in this post-military police state, conglomerate-run city, where everybody's downtrodden and told what they can and cannot do and what jobs they can even have. And you're fighting and rebelling against it. To that extent, the design of the enemies and the police gear is really cool, and I do dig that. But where does this game stack up to the original? To me, the original will always be a cult classic that I play from year to year, at least once a year, that's fun and just a good time. Even though moments in the game can seem a little cheap, it's still a blast to play. This one, if you didn't play the first one or you're not a fan of it, I can only give this one like a 2.8 out of 5. It's lackluster story-wise and character development that really leaves a lot to be imagined and really puts a sour note on this game. But at the same time, if you are a fan of the original one and you don't care that this one might have an overdone story and characters, it's really fun, and the free-running mechanics and fighting aspect of the games are above and beyond what the last game could give. So, for a fan of the series like myself, I give it a 3 out of 5. It's still fun and enjoyable to play. But if you're not a fan of it, you're probably not going to want to play this. And even if you are a fan, you might find a lot of issues with it. So, if you guys dug this review, you'll probably dig the next one. So stay tuned.